Hey guys, it's Fire here with another commentary for you. Today it's going to be a new series of commentaries. It's going to be on my smurf, which is in bronze 1 at the moment. Now this series is going to be focusing on how you can carry yourself out of bronze or lower elos, and especially have a large impact on the game and carry not so good players. Now just a bit of background so no one actually asks. I had this account maybe 2.5 years ago when I first started playing and made it on NA. My American friend was playing on this account for those 2 years, but he's now stopped playing, so I've transferred it over to Europe West now. I thought it was a good opportunity because it's bronze to play from bronze to diamond and show you guys how you can carry these games. So what I've asked Calm to do at the very start is go and ward his red buff. Now what we can either do is let NASA steal that, or I'm going to use my cheesy little strat and go and kill the enemy jungler, because Elise isn't particularly strong in the jungle. She does get kind of low if she doesn't get a smites on blue, so it'd be a good opportunity for us to do that. Now the way to carry low elo games as a mid laner is going to be to roam. Now obviously if you just sit mid and if I win my lane out farm, which I'm going to do, it's not really enough because the other lane's probably going to lose, and so I haven't really had any impact in those lanes. And if two of their lanes wins, the top and bottom win and mid loses, then just that one lane winning for me isn't going to be enough to carry the game. So you see what I've done here on Kassadin is I've pushed the lane early. This is really important because Diana is a strong laner and Kassadin's very weak early. But by pushing the lane, it means that Diana can't really trade with me because I have a superior level advantage, and also there are more of my minions on the map, which means that if she auto attacks me, which she wants to do to trade, she's going to then get aggro and actually lose that trade. Now Elise comes in here and I'm going to have to flash. This is really bad for me, and unfortunately it just means I didn't put my ward down in time. I thought Elise would go straight for her red buff, but it actually turns out that she took our red buff on our side, and so obviously she wasn't going to go to the red, and I didn't see her on that ward we've already got. So my thing at the moment is just going to keep trying to farm as much as possible. We do blow Dinah's flash here, which is good, and you notice that Dinah is now out of mana. Now she's out of mana because I've been constantly harassing her with my Q. I've been trying to put as much pressure on her as possible, and now she's having to farm with her Q, which is the most ideal situation for me because it means not only is she having to use her Q to farm, she can't then use her Q on me. So she's going out of mana, she's got no threat kill potential on me. I'm now ready to go for a kill because I still have my ignite. So I'm going to keep poking down and I'm going to try and get a kill onto Dinah before I have to go back. Now this is obviously risky. I put my ward down, but in these situations Dinah is most likely, especially at low elo, to call for help, because if you're getting battered in a lane, it's pretty obvious that like you're going to want help. People don't necessarily like laning on their own in a disadvantage, and so they're going to be asking their jungler. So that means that I need to expect Elise to be coming mid, which means that I've let her push the lane a little bit more and I've let them come back. Now as soon as I hit 6, I've actually gone and we're going to roam bot lane. You see where the enemy bot lane are, they're pushed up to their turret. This is how you play Kassadin. You roam around the map and you make sure that you secure advantages. Now Karma dies, that's fine, I want to kill Draven. Draven has already got 2 kills, he's worth a big bounty. Even though Nasus picks that up, that's not great for us, but it does mean that we're going to pick that up. So I'm going to go back to lane now and I'm going to try and get as much farm as possible. But this is something that's really important with Kassadin. You want to always make sure you're roaming whenever you can. Now, by shutting down Draven a bit, it means that he doesn't have as much farm as he could possibly have if he'd stayed in lane longer and had more farm. I've taken him out of lane and I've made sure that he's not snowballing as hard as he already was. Now, before that was a little bit misplay by me. Diana is obviously strong now, she's level 6, and I didn't really factor that in, and I made a mistake there. But thankfully it doesn't cost me my life. But you see now, I know that Elise has probably taken my blue buff, and so I'm going to go and chase her. I pinged onto Nasus and said let's kill her. She fails her flash, which is bad obviously, and the only way she's going to go is go back towards lane. I've told Nasus to let me get this kill because it's got the blue buff and I really need that to start slowballing, and I picked up a kill. Now that is just pure map awareness. If you see at the very bottom, she appeared on the ward and then she roamed back towards the top lane. Towards the mid lane, sorry. So that I know where she is on the map, and it means that we can collapse on her and we can pick up that kill. Now Kane's having a lot of connection issues at the moment, which means that I want to babysit that lane. She's the one who's in trouble, and she's the one who is most likely to get behind in this game. She's level 3, Draven is level 6, which is a huge advantage for an AD, especially Draven. But look where they are. Ward coverage at low elo is not very good, and no one can see me moving down here. So I'm going to go in on Draven. You notice I haven't used my jump yet because I want that cooldown for when Draven tries to escape me. So it takes me a little bit longer to get into him, yeah, but it means that he can't escape me. I'm going to ult onto him now, you see, whereas that might not have been available otherwise. Now we're going to pick up 1 kill. I'm going to try and get this 2nd kill, and I believe we might actually pick this up. So I'm just going to... So Caitlyn gets out, which is good, and now I'm going to ult away. So Elise can come in here. If she does actually come in, we can turn and we can fight, so that's not a problem at all. Now you notice this, like, I'm only 10 CS ahead now. I have 45 CS in 9.5 minutes into the game. Now if this was a diamond level game, I would be pretty ashamed of having 45 CS at this point. I should be around the 70-75 mark, especially if I was playing AD. But the point is that just having CS doesn't win you games in lower elo. What wins you games as a mid laner in lower elo is snowballing the rest of the map and going round. Now I've seen Elise move up on our ward, and so I'm going to cut her off. She's got no escape. I'm going to ignite her straight away. I'm going to wait and try and pick her up, and then I'm going to go. So you see what I did there was I ult towards Elise. I flash to make sure that I'm right on top of Elise and escape Thresh. I then use my Q to pick up the kill, and I ult away. Now that is just me playing a lot of Kassadin. I know his limits. I know how to get kills with him. But if you notice again, I'm constantly moving around the map. I have 48 CS. I've picked up an extra 3 CS in 2 minutes since saying that, which is obviously appalling, but I picked up another kill. This is getting our snowballing a lot more. Another thing to note is that by killing Elise there, it means that she has no pressure on the rest of the map. Not only do have I killed her, it means she can't gank bottom, she can't gank mid. And this is another important thing, is that Diana is a really strong mid laner. I haven't got much health. Even though she's come to gank, it's not really worth me dying, so I just back off and think it's not worth it. Let's just go back and start again. So I'm going to go back. You'll notice I'm building towards a Rod of Ages. Now the reason you don't want flat damage on Kassadin is because, especially at lower elos, people are likely to focus you when you jump into fights. People aren't as coordinated, which means that you need to be tankier to make sure that you can still pick up kills. So in team fights, the Rod of Ages is going to be really good for me because I'm so far ahead as well. It means I'm going to get the Rod reasonably early into the game, and so I'll be able to pick that up. Now here I'm going to look to try and kill Kennen. I don't really want to go too hard. You see I ulted into him, but I didn't want to go any harder than that because I would have taken tower shots. Elise has just died, Diana's gone back as well, and so I would have been caught by them. Now you can see that Diana is mid again, and as soon as I get a chance, I'm roaming bottom. I'm waiting for Draven to kind of engage onto Caitlyn so that it's less likely that he can get away. A really top tip for when you're roaming is to wait for them to fight. Yes, Kate has died, but I want to try and get these kills. I don't care if Caitlyn dies because I want the kills. Now unfortunately we don't actually pick this up because Karma's pretty weak as well. She's really low, and she's most likely going to die from this. Oh no, okay, she gets out, but we've got everyone coming in. So what we're trying to do now is just relieve as much pressure as possible on this bot lane. Like, I want to kill Draven as much as possible. He's 3 for 2. He has 92 CS, which is a ton of CS, especially like for 14 minutes at this level. And he has kills, which means that it's really looking really bad for us in the mid game. The more pressure I apply to Draven, the easier it's going to be for us to win this game. And that's what I'm trying to focus on in this game completely. Now I'm just going to speed this up because there's nothing really happening. You can see they're going for a dragon here, so this is what I want to try. I want to try and stop them. So I'm not using my ult too much to get to the fight closer because I need the ultimate cooldown when we actually do fight. So I'm just going to slow this down. I focus in onto Kennen first because he's the easiest target. I then wait for Draven to isolate himself, and then I go for the kill onto him. Caitlyn gets a good ult as well, and she actually picks up the kill with the trap. But right here, Diana's still pretty strong, and I'm a level behind because I've roamed so much. But the important thing to note is she doesn't have much mana. She can't do her full rotation on me and kill me. But at the same time, I don't really want to fight this. Now, Karma's actually going to suicide, which is pretty silly because she stays too far forward. But if you notice at this game, so I am now 403. I've been a part of 7 kills on the map when our team has had 10. But now what I'm trying, 11, sorry. But now what I'm trying to do is just farm. So I ping Jace off. I say, oh, I really need this farm, please, because he just took farm mid lane. And so I'm trying to get all of this CS, and I'm trying to get myself back into the game with farm as well. Now, if I can keep farm up and I can also roam around the map, that's going to be the most ideal situation for me to be in. So you can see, again, instead of going mid lane, I'm going to go bot lane because I can see the whole team around. Now, the important thing to note is I do not want to engage until we have like a our team is around. Now, this is kind of risky for us, especially at the moment, but Draven's isolated himself between the wall in the middle, has separated his team and Draven, so I tried to focus him. Unfortunately, our mistake there was that we engaged when they would group as 5 and we were kind of split up. Now, what I'm trying to do here is shut down Draven. I'm actually going to die, but this is giving me another kill, and it's meaning that Draven gets shut down. He doesn't pick up any farm, and also they have reduced pressure on the map now that Draven is dead. Draven has the most AD. It means that he is the best tower pusher in the game as well for them, and so by him being removed off the map, it means that they didn't actually pick up that tower, whereas Draven, if Draven was still alive, they most probably would have. Now, even though there's some action mid lane, I've gone top and I'm trying to farm as much as possible. I really need to get my farm back up so that I can still have a lot of money, but you can see that my team are fighting mid lane. Now, this is just them being like a little bit foolish, a mistake, but you can see Elise is low. I go in, and now I'm going to carry on for Draven. The key thing to note here is Draven only has 1 axe, and I saw him previously, even though I didn't actually show it in this. I saw him drop an axe. That means he's got around 10 seconds at this level where he can't activate another axe. He doesn't have any kill potential, and so we can pick that up. Now, right here, I want to go in on Thresh and I want to kill him. But the problem is that I think Ken still has his ultimate, which he actually does if you look. Obviously, I didn't know that in the game. But just thinking about the cooldowns, I assumed he would have had that up. If I had dived in and used my ultimate into Thresh, he would have immediately locked me up with his ultimate. And I most likely would have died. So that's the other point of playing Kassadin is at low elo, you want to try not to feed any of their team. The less deaths you have, the better it is, because it means that they aren't getting gold and they aren't getting pressure from you dying. That's a really important thing, because a lot of players will just go stupidly aggressive. They'll rack up a lot of kills, but they'll also rack up a lot of deaths. This doesn't really work in low elo because you're just giving the enemy team an advantage. But right here, we're fighting again. I'm just using my QE combo just to do as much damage as possible, but then I'm not going in to finish him off. Now you can see here that I can pick up a kill onto Kennen here, and I think I can probably get out. Now, I do actually end up getting out. I think they pick up a couple more kills, which wasn't ideal, but I thought my combo would kill Kennen there. That's why I went in. I wanted to kill him, assassinate him, and then leave the fight. So even though this game is obviously snowballing towards them, they have 5,000 gold in the lead at the moment. We're actually staying reasonably close for how the game should have gone. If you remember, the game was snowballing really hard, with Draven being like 3 levels ahead. But by kind of making pressure around the map, it means that there isn't too big a gap, and it should be a lot bigger. And you can see I picked up a kill onto Dinah there just because I was observant and I could see the ward. That was actually my ward that I placed there. So it's another important thing is warding and catching people out. People at low elo do not expect there to be wards on the map, which is pretty silly, but they never expect there to be wards. Now you can see I'm going in for another kill. My priority here is going to be onto killing Kennen and then trying to go for Draven. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flash, and then I'm going to use my ultimate cooldown to get over the wall. Now, unfortunately, Draven already dies, and what I don't expect is for Diana to jump out of the bush, 1v4, and try and kill me. Now, Elise makes a good play here, and this is actually pretty good by her. She flashes, she sees me riff walk over the wall, so she flashes, jumps, and manages to kill me. Now, if I didn't use my flash, I would have survived. I didn't expect Jace to hit the gate and to kill Draven, so I thought I would have been able to pick up that kill, which is why I flashed in the first place. So that was just a little bit silly by me and being being cocky. But you can see the state of this game at the moment. So Jace is 3 for 7. Caitlyn is 3 for 3, but she does have only 20 CS less than Draven. Now, if I hadn't touched bot lane, there is no way that she would only be 20 CS behind. She will be a lot further behind than that. And so that's one of the reasons why I paid so much attention to bot, because if Caitlyn gets strong, we can inevitably win this game. If Caitlyn is really weak and we have no AD, it means we're not going to win this game. So this is another key thing about low elo. If you look, I've recalled because I'm low health, but my team has continued to fight. They've now died. 3 of them have now died. We're going to lose towers and pressure. There's not a lot you can do in this situation. I needed to recall. I needed to shop because I had my death cap. Now what I'm trying to do is just apply a bit of pressure here and get people low with my Qs. Now the reason I'm trying to do this instead of just doing nothing is because they will take harass, they will waste their mana, and they will stay too long. So if you can see here, look, they all stay too long. Diana has no mana now. Look, she has no mana at all. Draven has no mana. He has low health, and so is Thresh. So this is me now trying to make a play. If I can get a kill here, we can take Baron, and we can probably make like the advantage disappear for the enemy team. So you see I'm just kiting around. I picked up the kill onto Draven. I'm now abusing the fact that I can rift walk over walls. That was kind of lucky with my health staying as it is, but she's got no mana. Now this is why I engaged this fight, because look, she can do nothing. Sorry, she's got a Doran's Ring for mana regen. Now Doran's Ring is okay for mana regen, but the thing that Doran's Ring gives you is mana regen on creep kills. Now she's not getting any creep kills while she's chasing me, so her mana regen is actually really low. So it means that she hasn't really got any kill potential on me. I did get a bit lucky with that Q, leaving me on like 50 health, but we managed to pick up those kills, and now we're starting to snowball the game. Even though you can see we're 5,000 gold ahead, and that is a big amount of gold. In a diamond level game, that probably is the part where they start to shove you into base and start to control the whole game. In a low elo game, people don't really know what to do with this gold lead, so it's not as big as it actually appears. Now I'm 10 and 2, I'm really strong at the moment, and if I play team fights correctly, I can actually kill people and I can actually carry the whole game. This is a position I put myself in from roaming as much as I have. I accidentally get hit by an E there, which is kind of bad by me, but I just rift walk out straight away and it's not too bad. I'm not putting myself in any position where I'm going to die instantly from getting caught, so it's okay, but I'm being very careful to make sure that I'm at the back of every fight, that I go in when I see an opportunity. So when someone is low and I can just shoot them down straight away. You see I'm showing my presence here to try and save Nasus, because the thing you'll notice is like he went in a bit too soon and obviously got poked down, but because I'm so fed at the moment, people are afraid of me. Intimidation in a game is really important part. Playing mind games with your enemy is also really important, because people think if you show your face and you start to walk towards them that you're going to straight away engage and you're going to kill them. Now right here, this is the same thing. Everyone is afraid of me because they think I'm going to jump in and I'm going to kill them straight away. Now unfortunately what happens is I jump off at the side here and I go and kill Diana with Caitlyn, which is good, but the rest of my team has jumped in to 5 people, or 4 people, sorry. So we actually end up losing this fight really badly. Now the problem with this fight was that we had no wall coverage in the bush on your left or in the bush at the top. This wall coverage meant that I couldn't see where people were, and I had to get much closer than I wanted to be to do damage. So unfortunately we get aced there. I think most of my team here try and surrender. They're like, oh, this game is over, GG. But because I'm so strong, I can one-shot Draven at this point, and Draven is their main source of damage. So what I'm trying to do in team fights is just have as big as impact as possible. Now Kennen is staying on the bottom right, you can see here. He's waited way too long in lane, and he's just going to recall in the middle of the lane. So that's a little bit silly. You always want to try and recall in a brush so that you can see the enemy before they can see you. But this means we're going to pick up a dragon. That's another thing, that we've secured most of these dragons, because every time I ping onto the dragon and I say, let's go, let's kill them, they obviously aren't warding at all and they're just getting caught because we're grouping up now. I'm trying to apply as much pressure as possible. The other thing to know is to look at their team. So let's have a look. Diana has gone for pure penetration, and because I don't have any magic resist, she is doing almost true damage to me with that aura and with that void staff. That means I have to be incredibly careful when playing against her. Okay, so we can just see here that they had a little mini fight, And so what I'm trying to do now is just pick up as many kills as possible. If I can get 1 or 2 kills, it means we can Baron. And so that's my key focus at the moment. I'm trying to cut Thresh off. And I'm trying to make sure that I can I can kill him. Now I don't actually know where he is at the moment. I'm just going to scout around and see if I can find him. But when I can't, I'm going to recall. Now the reason I recall is because I've got no vision in Baron Pit. Or anywhere around Baron. Now what this means is that their team could be anywhere. If I go hunting for Thresh still, there are like 4 other people on the team alive. I killed Draven. The other 4 could easily circle me. I don't know if they've got wards, so that's why I just recalled and just cut my losses. Now as I was saying, Draven's got a lot of damage and a lot of armor penetration with that black cleaver as well. So I can one-shot him and that's fine and then jump out. But the other thing to note is that Elise has gone a really weird build, and I'm not going to lie, this is very weird, but it's a lot of damage. So everyone on the team is doing tons of damage, so I have to be very careful to avoid that damage because I can't afford to buy defense when I'm playing Kassadin. Especially when your team's behind, you need to do as much damage as possible and just make sure that you can kill anyone who is around. So right now, the enemy team is pretty much full health except for Kennen. So if I'm going to assassinate someone in a team fight, it's about to happen, I'm going to aim for Kennen. The reason I'm going to aim for Kennen is because I can pretty much kill him straight away. And they've actually split off here. So we want to try and defend this turret. No one is actually defending, which means I have to go in the front, which is not ideal at all. The rest of the team isn't really doing much at the moment. So I decide just to go for Elise. Now the reason I just go for Elise is because I can't do anything bot lane. There are 4 enemies there. My team aren't reacting, and so I'm just going to go for the person I can kill. I get a kill onto Draven with my E, my huge damage at the moment. I rift walk into Kennen. I know he's going to ultimate, so watch what I do here. I rift walk over as soon as he ultimates, and then I come back round and finish him off. Now, I knew Kennen was going to ult. There's nothing else he can do. He wants to try and save himself if possible. The only way he was going to save himself and possibly kill me was with his ult. So I position myself next to the wall. That is a thick wall, so you do need to be right next to it, but you can easily get over if you're sitting there and waiting to do it. Now, you notice this is like, what, 35 minutes into the game? We have no towers on the map. This is what I'm telling my team now. We need some towers. That will be the global gold, and we'll actually catch up on everyone else. You notice the enemy team has a ton of towers at the moment, and that is making up the gold difference. So I'm saying we need to just group. Let's just take a couple of towers, pick a few fights, let me isolate people, and I'll be able to kill them. Kennen is again out of position, but you can see that behind me everyone is collapsing. Diana, Draven and Thresh are all there, and so I don't want to fight this anymore, so I ping them back and say no, let's not get greedy, let's just back off, wait for me to isolate someone again, and then I'll kill them. Now you notice every team fight we've actually won. I've isolated someone first, I've killed them, and then we've proceeded with the fight. The one team fight we lost was when we full engaged 5-on-5, and so we just and that was just because I'm not as good at diving in and just fighting the whole fight. So we want to try and keep this inhib as much as possible, but Jace doesn't back here even though I'm pinging him to. But they are really low at this point, and so this is where I want to try and go in. You see I'm waiting for Elise to drop down from her rappel so I can kill her, and I'm picking targets that I can kill safely. The positioning of Kassadin is very similar to an AD carry. Now you see, I can see Kennen on the map right now. I can see him recalling, and so I'm going to try and kill him. Thankfully Caitlyn gets that ultimate, but Draven came back to try and save him. You see my Q damage through his barrier, which is immense at the moment, and so now we can just push mid lane. We don't need to necessarily always get kills, but what we do need to take is advantages from every little play we make. So we're going to take a tower here. We can possibly even get 2 because Diana's top, and so it looks like we're actually going to go for Baron at the moment. They haven't got any vision on this, and Nasus does shred this very quickly, especially with Caitlyn as well. So this play obviously was made by the catch onto Kennen. Now Caitlyn pretty much made that. I just chased onto him, but by putting Draven low it meant that he had to recall and we could get this. So you can see that in the last 15 to 20 minutes of this game, what's happened is I've just been completely trying to pressure every time. I've been looking for kill opportunities whenever I can, and I've been trying to control the pace of the game. So I've been constantly trying to catch people out. Now when I catch people out, it's obviously very easy to catch people out. You see here I've caught Kennen out again, and he actually does a ton of damage to me. Now notice I've never, I haven't died in a while from this, but the reason I haven't died is not because I don't do any damage, it's because I've been avoiding the damage in team fights by playing it correctly and by using my ultimate very efficiently. So I don't dive in when they've got cooldowns available because they're just going to kill me and then we lose. Look at my team. Jace is 3 for 11. Nasus is 4 for 6. Caitlyn is 8 for 5 now, which is good. And she also has more farm than Draven, which is important. But if I die, we will lose the team fights. There's no doubt about it because I have pretty much all of our damage. Now, Nasus jumps way too hard into the enemy turret, and so there's nothing I can really do. I'm just going to try and get away. You can see here I play this badly, and I go too close. I take them on when they've all got their cooldowns available. That was a really dirty ignite, which I don't particularly like. Like, that's just kind of I can't kill you, so screw it. I'm going to ignite you. But never mind, that's like my mistake there. And they are going to push up another inhibitor out of this. So that one mistake you see by me is costing us pretty big. But the point is now, I'm going to pause this very quickly. Everyone on their team is low. Look at the left of the screen now. Draven's mana bar is pretty low. Kennen's health bar is low. And then you've got Dinah out of mana as well. Now, Dinah and Kennen are the ones at the top of the screen at the moment. So let's press play. Those two have no kill potential on me, so I'm just going to dive straight in and I'm going to get those kills. There's like Draven and Thresh are in our base at the moment, but what do they have to do in our base? They have nothing to do apart from kill the Nexus turrets. Now, they're not going to kill the Nexus turrets, so there's no point me chasing after them. The rest of my team can possibly go after them. I'm going to chase down Kennen and pick up this kill, because if we get all of these kills, we can get an inhibitor. And that's really, really important. You see I'm now going down and I'm cutting the enemy team off. I'm going to make sure that there's no way for them to escape. I'm going to pick up this kill as well. And then you see that we've turned a situation where it was like really bad. We've just lost 2 inhibitors and we're pretty much going to lose the game into a nope, let's fight. We just took 4 kills for nothing, and now we can push an inhibitor. Now, this is something as well that's really, really important when you're playing low elo games, is you personally need to recognize situations where you can fight. Now, what I mean by that is most people probably would not have thought that because they're battering our base. We're kind of low, we seem weaker, but actually no, we're not weaker. If you think about it, we're on even gold now. We're actually ahead in gold now. We have huge amounts of items. I've just come up at full health and mana with all my cooldowns available, and they don't have mana, so we can fight. Now, if I hadn't have thought that, we wouldn't have taken mid inhibitor. We would have lost a lot of pressure that we have now. And so just that one, like this game is made up of a lot of small decisions. Any one of these small decisions not being taken or not being made would mean that we wouldn't have done as well as we do in this game. So you can see now that I'm at full build. I've bought a Medjai's because I'm a bit of a prick and I think I can kill everyone. So this is a snowball item. I built it kind of late, but I know that I have so much damage that this is probably going to pay off. Now, we actually pick up this Baron off a Jace gate, which is absolutely incredible. It's interesting because in this game I was so focused on playing this fight correctly because it could either win or lose this game. I didn't actually notice that we stole the Baron because I was so focused on my positioning, and it was so important that I didn't make a mistake that I was completely zoned into my positioning and I didn't even realize. But as you can see, we now mop up the fight. You'll notice in that fight that I even walked around to the top and back around Baron Pit when I was getting focused. Now that's because if I die, I'm no good to anyone. Yes, it's not ideal if I am out of the fight, but a dead champion does less damage than one who's running away. Obviously, the one who's running away can then come back in after, like I did, and mop up a few more kills. If you stay around and just try and do as much damage as possible, then you die, you don't have any more damage, and that's it. So that's the game then for you guys. I hope this was a really good example of how to roam on a champion and how to carry a low elo game. Caitlyn's farm was really good towards the end of the game, but the point I'm trying to make is that she wouldn't have actually reached that farm or late game potential if I hadn't have supported her earlier in the game. Please let me know if you like this new series and if you'd like me to do more of these lower elo commentaries. This was from a Bronze 1 game, I believe, but please let me know what you think. Leave any feedback you have in the comments. Obviously, like and subscribe this video if you enjoyed it. Please do follow me on a Nook and like my Facebook, and as always, I will catch you next time.